thank God our Prime Minister has declared that we're not having anything to do with it. We are not participating in it. It's an illegal war. We are not going to allow them to use our bases or any of our sites around the world. I doubt, Paul, one single country will rise up and join the Israel-US attacks on Iran.
Australia's backed it.
Yes, but will they join in?
Well,
they may have given some vocal backing. This is as my relatives in America have said, this is the Epstein wars. It's so that Trump has got a reason to stop the midterms, and Israel has got a reason to stop the October elections as well. This has got nothing to do with defending the Iranians. And remember, we cannot stop Iran from getting the nuclear bomb. They've already increased their uranium capacity to by about 50% since May, and they've hidden their capacity in the Isfahan mountains. Yeah. We can't stop Iran from getting the nuclear bomb, but this war is insane. It will, as
do you want Keir Starmer to say that then? Would you like Keir Starmer to be a bit clearer?
I don't like all this grandstanding. We have told the
Americans, he's the Prime Minister. It's not grandstanding. He's got to say what he thinks about this, hasn't he? What's the point of being Prime Minister if you don't have a view on a significant military operation like this?
He does have a view.
What's his view then?
He has said, we are not participating in the war. If we're attacked, we'll have to defend our sites, obviously. But this is not our war. This is America and Israel's war, and I'm hoping it will peter out soon. As soon as the Strait of Hormuz is attacked and the oil price rockets, as soon as American soldiers die, maybe Iran gets lucky and maybe hits a ship, who knows. But it is America and Israel's war, and the rest of the world must say, all right, all we're going to do like we did with Harold Wilson, we're just going to send you good luck. We're not getting any of our soldiers, because it's a conflagration that must not be allowed to expand. Obviously, I feel for the Iranian people, but you do not free people by bombing them, and we have to be realistic, Paul.
How do you free them then, Claire? How else can we free them?
It has to be organic. The Iranian people have to free themselves.
They tried that, though, and they got slaughtered in their thousands.
Yes, and that's what... Look how many people died during apartheid South Africa. Look, who remembers Soweto? But eventually, the people will rise. But if you bomb the Iranians, all you're going to do is... And even if you get rid of the Iranian government, Iran will fall into disarray. Remember, Iran is 4 times the size of Iraq. It will fall into disarray, and that will be even worse. Okay. Israel is only bombing Iran because it wants to be the only power in the region with nuclear bombs. That is not going to happen, Paul. Iran will get the nuclear bomb, and we'll have to live with it.
David's in Bayswater. Morning to you, David.
Hi, Matthew. Yeah, so I'm absolutely incandescent with anger at the hypocrisy and lies coming out of Israel, America, and many Western commentators. First of all, this is not the first regime change the West has done or is going to do. In 1953, when Mossadegh was elected, he was going to nationalize the oil and get the riches of that country for the people. America made it so that he was usurped, and they put the Shah instead, who gave them a 50-50 deal in the oil. So American hypocrisy, they will never act in the interest of the Iranian people. The callers you have, who are a lot of the Iranian callers, they are people who are linked to the Shah's regime. That's why they left when the that Iranian regime took over, the Islamic regime. They are not good actors either, because they were linked to that repressive regime. Not all of them, but a lot of them have had interest in keeping that repressive regime. So I think that we have to take what they say with a pinch of salt. Okay, the recent upsurge in the rebellion in Iran was linked to a fall in the currency, which caused a lot more pain for the Iranian people, who are already suffering from the sanctions over many years, which decimated the economy, the health service, and everything. But it was the currency fall that caused the latest wave of protests, and it led into bigger things. But essentially, the people were, I know there are politically active Iranians who want a regime change, but there's a large number of Iranians who were not happy with the system, but they were getting along, they were paying their bills, they were getting enough food and everything. But because of the continued sanctions, that's created a very, very difficult situation for the people, and that has made them more rebellious. I'm not saying
you sound almost as if you're defending the regime there.
No, I'm not. But I'm just trying to point out the hypocrisy of America. They're trying to say, they've completely mismanaged the economy. They're completely oppressive. Yeah, but America has acted to create that situation as well, because Israel is also involved in this. They want to neutralize Iran, and they don't mind how they do it. If they will have chaos in Iran, as long as they cannot support those people like Hamas and everything. And they don't give two hoots about the Iranian people. They really, really don't. They just want a weakened Iran, whatever it takes, whether there's civil war or, an ungovernable country, as long as it can't pose a threat to Israel. Forget about the survival of the Iranian people. And also, Iran, even if it did get the nuclear bomb, would it ever really use the bomb? I mean, if
I don't want to wait to find out.
No, but Matthew, if they fired one bomb, they would have 2,000 bombs coming back at them, so they would never use it.
I don't think that is going to sort of reassure anyone, because so far nuclear weapons have tended to remain in the hands of democratic states. Russia, you can argue, is a bit of an exception to that rule. China too, but relatively stable states have tended to have nuclear weapons. Iran is an incredibly unstable state. It's a theocracy. It's extreme. It calls Israel a satanic state. It wants death to America, as it says. I don't think we can trust nuclear weapons not to be misused by Iran.
Sorry, and look, and even if there is regime, if they try to change it, the IRGC, 290,000 heavily armed men. How many Iranians will die for that? Hundreds of thousands. This is totally, totally wrong. I'm so passionate about this. And it's just awful the way the Western press is trying to encourage, a lot of the right-wing press is trying to encourage Britain to support Trump. He is not acting with one iota of care for the Iranian people.
I was listening to Paul Brand's show, and the contributors and many of the callers were putting forward a real one-sided view. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I find it very depressing. I mean, talk about the truth being the first casualty of war. I mean, my goodness. To me, and I think to millions of people across the world, with what's been coming out on media since the Trump administration took power, is what is the most unstable country in the globe with the biggest nuclear arsenal? It has to be the United States. And it's worth mentioning as well, because it's mentioned very rarely, is that Israel is well understood to have a nuclear capability. It's estimated.
They've never admitted it, though.
Well, okay, sure, fine. They're estimated to have about 90 nuclear warheads in their arsenal. Now, people, go and do your own research. I'm not saying that I'm the paragon of truth, but I'm really glad that you put on the broadcast given by Trump after they slammed missiles into Iran to try and destroy their nuclear capability.
Look, David, was it nonsense at the time, or is it nonsense now? Because if you obliterate something, it means you completely and utterly destroy it, raze it to the ground. And yet, only months later, we're going for another crack. So, I mean, how long is this going to last? We're going to go and have another round in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years? I mean, how long is this going to go on for?
It's so, well, I completely agree, Ali. It's so depressing. Here we go again. I think we've got another Iraq horrible confrontation coming up. I think in a year's time, we're going to be talking about so many children dead. There was 1 million children estimated to be killed in the Iraq conflict, with the after effects of weaponry and the fallout from all of that. And, you know, I completely agree. We have a very toxic regime in Iran, and we've been hearing about the slaughter that's been going on, carried out by the Iranian leadership. This is not the way to go about it. There's so much to say. I'm very suspicious. I would like to cast people's minds back to the Falklands War. Margaret Thatcher launched a war on the other side of the world against a small group of islands, which are very sparsely populated, because she was in trouble politically in the United Kingdom. This is an opinion, but we now have a similar situation with Donald Trump.
Well, and not only that, but Benjamin Netanyahu's got elections coming up. And he might have his own problems there as well. So nothing like a good war to bolster a bit of support. David, thank you. Appreciate your call. Munira in Watford. Munira, good afternoon.
Hello. I just wanted to say that this is a prime example of the fact that the Americans the Israelis have the Americans twisted around their little fingers.
Why do you think that is?
Trump has been prevaricating for quite a while, but Netanyahu has been working on him very hard to make the strike, even though it's not really necessary.
Well, why do you think it's not necessary? Because the Trump administration would say, and I find this quite entertaining, to be honest, not in a ha-ha way, but just in a sort of bewilderment way, that Steve Witkoff, who's Donald Trump's buddy-in-chief, he goes around negotiating all sorts of things, said in an interview just the other day that Trump is increasingly frustrated by the fact that these pesky little Iranians, he didn't say that, I'm saying it, these pesky little Iranians are not falling into line. How dare they not fall into line, these Iranians? And he's curious as to why they haven't capitulated. What do you make of that, Munira?
I think it's ridiculous. He went to the American people and on the basis that there would be no more foreign wars. And all he has done is agitate and invade and attack other countries.
What do you think he's doing it for?
He's just doing it for Israel. I have no idea what they think they're going to accomplish. If they think that the Iranian people can topple the regime, well, Israel wants chaos. They don't want peace. They don't want regime change. They want chaos. And Trump has handed it to them.
So then if Peter is messaging me from Birmingham saying this, why attack Iran? Maybe to stop the regime from slaughtering over 20,000 citizens, for instance. We don't know the exact numbers because no one's verified them, obviously, because no one can go in. What do you make of that, Munira? Isn't that a justification for going in and doing something?
That's a load of bull, and I won't finish the phrase, because Iran always attacks its people.
Yeah, but it's on a very large scale in the recent weeks, isn't it?
Yes, and this will not stop them from attacking their own people again. We tried that in Iraq and Libya, and look at the chaos which ensued. Israel wants chaos. They don't want peace. They don't want quiet. They want chaos, and they're hoping that this will achieve it for them. Okay.